Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited to talk about body recomp today because it's one of my favorite things to talk about as I continue to go on in my own journey and as I continue to coach hundreds of women and always learning. I'm really proud of myself for that. I never stay stuck, especially in this fitness world. I'm always learning new exercises and just new things to kind of focus on. And I really think that's so important. And body recomp, which is just body recomposition, instead of thinking of only fat loss or only muscle gain or only, losing weight, restriction, smaller, skinny, all those things. It's really just the option to be able to change and change your body in whatever way you want. And just think of your body as being able to be totally made over, I guess. A lot of times we think that we only have one way to kind of, a lot of women just focus on weight loss and they think that's the only way to get the body that they want, when in reality, you have so many different options for your body. So I'm really excited to talk about this topic. But first, I want to give a little update on myself and kind of a couple things that I've been going through physically, health-wise. And I shared a little bit on social media, but I want to talk about it here too. And of course, I'll talk about it on social media. Life's just been really crazy and busy lately, so I haven't been able to kind of put it into words on social media. And honestly, health is hard. It's hard in my position to kind of know exactly what to say and, just timing of everything and making sure that I know what I'm talking about. I don't ever want to get on social media or on here and talk about things that I don't fully believe in or that I don't really know and understand. But, with my own health, that's hard sometimes because I don't understand everything and I am going to be always learning. So please take this with a grain of salt, realizing that I'm not a doctor. I don't know all of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep it very vague. But so in the end of December, I started getting sick. I think I had a mixture of what I believe was COVID. I never got tested for it, but the symptoms. So COVID, and then I had pneumonia, and then I had influenza A. And I kind of talked about that on here as just how I was really, really sick. And I didn't really dive into details because it didn't really matter. I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really talk about it. I just wanted to move on, right? And just do my job, get on here, teach you guys, and kind of not dwell on it. But also I didn't really know what was going on. But before that, I was struggling as well. And I thought a lot of it was perimenopause symptoms, which I do still think that obviously it is that. But I think there was more into it. What ended up happening was, and I'll keep this kind of vague, but also I want to explain. So I started getting sick the end of December. My kids were sick, everybody's sick and I'm getting it. So of course, as a mom, it's like you're kind of the last person you think about, unfortunately. But I went to the doctor. I went to urgent care, and that's when I found out that I had pneumonia. So I'd already been sick for weeks at this point. This was earlier in the year. I know right now it's still earlier in the year, but this was earlier in the year. Went to urgent care, and they were taking my blood pressure. And the nurse asked, she said, do you typically, have you ever had issues with high blood pressure? Does your blood pressure typically run high? And honestly, I never, ever, ever had a problem with my blood pressure. So I said, no, usually it's normal. No one's ever said anything about my blood pressure. I go to the doctor regularly, get physical checkups. And she said, okay, well, it's running really high. It's probably just because you're not feeling well. You're sick. We'll just keep an eye on it. Okay. Checked it again later and it was still super high. But again, I had pneumonia. I was super just, stressed out, felt like absolute shit. So kind of went on. 2 weeks later, I went back to the doctor because I was still feeling like shit, absolute shit. Found out at that appointment that I had influenza A. And again, they took my blood pressure, and she said, again, your blood pressure is really, really high. Is this common for you? And I said, no, it's not common for me. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure it's just fine. Again, not a big deal. A couple of weeks later, I went to the dentist, and they took my blood pressure at the dentist and and again, asked me the same thing. Have you ever had problems with high blood pressure? Same spiel. And I said, no, but I haven't gone to urgent care twice and I have been sick for months at this point, like 2 months. I don't know, it seemed like forever, like very, very sick. I'm not talking like just a little cold. Like I had really bad sicknesses, right? So I said, I'm sure it's just that. And she said, well, that's a long time to have, high blood pressure. So maybe just when you're out and about at Walmart or whatever, just stick your hand, or at a pharmacy, like stick your arm in that machine and just see if it's running high. So my husband and I were out shopping, I don't know, probably a week later, whatever. And I saw one of those machines. So I stuck my arm in it. Sure enough, super, super high. So to kind of keep this short, we ended up purchasing a blood pressure machine, cuff, whatever, at that store at that moment, because we were very alarmed. My husband especially was like, what is going on? Like, we need to get this under control. So I called the doctor, went to the doctor. Again, it was running super high, and it's the same doctor I've gone to for years. And so she's like, this is a new thing. What's been going on? So of course I told her I had been sick for weeks and weeks and weeks. And the only other thing that I had started taking was my hormone medications that I've been getting from a company called Winona. And so she had me stop those for a couple of weeks and see if anything changed, document my blood pressure for, a couple of weeks. My friend Julie was really helping me out as I was having some really, really high spikes. And I was talking to my mom about things and just trying to educate myself. But with education comes, stress and like more knowledge. And I don't know enough about it to really, learn, because I'm learning things, but it's also, the internet. And so I'm trying to stay calm and think that I'm not going to die, but I'm getting educated. I also had a couple friends on Instagram reach out and really help me. So I much appreciated that. It helped me to stay calm and kept me calm, kept me positive, and it was really nice. So I'm cycling through medications and all of the things. Anyways, I had some heart testing done, EKG and echo. I had some blood testing done and just kind of trying to figure out why it's so freaking high. Ended up getting on some blood pressure medication and it is coming down. So last update that I have, and I'd posted on social media a story, just actually a picture of like me in the waiting room with like my number to be called back for my heart testing. I had a couple women reach out and say they're dealing with the same thing. And so I definitely want to share, my journey. It's nothing that I've done really, but things can happen. So I went this week, all my testing came back fine. So she's going to keep me on the blood pressure medication to keep my numbers down. And we're going to kind of reconvene in May when I go back for my annual physical. And she's hoping that it's the high blood pressure is just kind of resulting from the COVID pneumonia flu, and my body is just having a hard time recovering. And so hopefully she's hoping that I'll start to see some side effects from the medication, meaning that my blood pressure is regulated and I don't need that medication anymore and I can get off of it. That's kind of the hope. But if I need to stay on blood pressure medication, that's okay too. I will walk through that. But it was super, super scary, you guys. It's something I've never dealt with. I could see my heart working so hard. Like I could see it beating through, my skin, like my clothes. I was starting to really feel it and notice how I was feeling. It was just a crazy, crazy feeling. I have had a couple people tell me that can come with perimenopause as well. That's a perimenopause symptom, as well as like 30 other things. It's just crazy. Also, while I was at the doctor, my nurse that was doing the ultrasound on my heart and kind of looking around, she was my age and we were just talking about perimenopause symptoms. And she was just really explaining to me, like, you look super, super healthy. And it's, I'm talking to her about workouts and, lifting weights and my muscle mass and my cardio ability and my eating habits. And, she's just like, yeah, sometimes this is just, it is a symptom, I guess, or something that happens commonly. She said after people have COVID, it's something that, is common after that. She reassured me that I'm pretty much doing everything right, that this can just kind of happen. So she was very encouraging, but it's been kind of scary and hard to walk through. I've never really had to deal with anything like that. So it was scary. But again, a reminder, because I was out of breath and I was feeling shitty from, my blood pressure being so high, but I was also so sick. I was also just kind of ignoring things because that's what we do, right? We're like, I'm just tired. I'm just out of breath. Tired though, can we talk about that for a second? My nurse asked me if I was tired and I said, exhausted, like beyond exhausted. And she said, well, your heart is working so hard that you are, probably so tired. I mean, my numbers were, I was in the 160s over, 112 very, very often. So we're talking really, really high blood pressure. And I didn't realize that was so scary, but my friends and people that know, they're like, you have got to take this seriously and educating me. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I want to give you an update on that, of course, and just kind of tell you that if you're going through the same thing, feel free to reach out. We can walk through this together. I want to be transparent and also tell you what I'm learning and what I'm doing, but I'm also open to all things because I want to be educated, but not overly educated where I'm scared, if that makes sense. But if you are feeling any type of way, because also what I was kind of say was I was kind of just, I'm in perimenopause. My body's changing. I do feel tired. I do feel just all the things. And I would have never on my own just went to the doctor, I don't think, just because I had been so sick. And I do know my body so well. But if I hadn't have been sick and gone to urgent care, if I hadn't have had that dental appointment, I would have still been struggling with it and not even known. So don't ignore signs and symptoms from your body. Don't put things on hold. Don't do what I did. No, I did actually pretty well, but go in, get tested, and just make a checkup appointment. They're going to test all the things, and it's not hard. It's super easy, but even I go every year and this still, happens. So anyway, there's a little update on that. So I just wanted to share and be open and authentic about that because I know a lot of us struggle with things. And if we don't vocalize it, we're walking through it alone and it feels really scary and you feel like you're the only person. So I want to definitely be open and honest. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people that have said, oh my gosh, I struggled with high blood pressure too. What's going on? Like, what are you doing? And these are the things that I did. So it's very helpful to just be open and honest and talk about things because other people are struggling with the same things. We just don't talk about it as much as we should. So enough about that. I want to talk about body recomp, and I want to talk about it in the sense that I do want to dive into a little bit about what body recomp is and what changes can be made. And I also just want to open the conversation to this being a different and a more welcomed. I think this is how we should approach health and fitness, right? A lot of people are like, I just need to lose weight. I just want to lose weight. That's like the most common thing that we hear or that we even say is, I want to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I need to be smaller. I'm too big. I'm too fat. And that's what I hear all the time. It's just like, I'm too big to enjoy my life. I'm overweight. I am fat and and it's, a lot of negativity and that's fine. And if you do need to lose weight, that's okay. And if you do need to lose fat, it's okay. And all of that is okay. But what I'm realizing is that a lot of people, especially with the Ozempic, kind of the GLP-1, I was going to say epidemic, but as that's becoming more popular, and I don't really want to get into that, but that's just something that will make you smaller. And I think a lot of things that we are pushed, weight loss, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that, I think, to a point. But when you're only focusing on weight loss, you forget about the other things that your body needs. Your bone density is important. Your muscle mass is important. Your relationship with food is important. Being able to enjoy your life is important. Just going through a weight loss, focusing on weight loss, and then, maybe going into a deficit and doing a cut and just drastically cutting out, carbs and processed foods and all the things, you do that for a while and maybe you lose weight. And then you do that so long to where you can't do it anymore because it's not physically possible for you to not live on processed foods and not have your favorite foods, right? Then you cycle out of it to the other extreme and then you gain all of your weight back. You're not active, right? You're doing all the wrong things. And then it's this cycle of dieting and then not dieting and then dieting and then not dieting. And your metabolism is screwed up and your hormones are screwed up and you haven't built any muscle and nothing has literally changed. All you did was you're the same person, the same things, and then you cut your calories and cut out your favorite foods. And then you go right back to where you were in the first place. Instead of looking at this, how I feel like we should look at this is with knowledge, with an open mindset, first of all, and then knowledge, education, changing our habits, changing our outlook, changing our relationship with food, changing your body, changing yourself, not just shrinking yourself, not just cutting things out, but actually learning and taking inventory of what do I want to look like? What do I want to feel like? And I really feel like body recomp is the best way, like the only way to really do that. And so with body recomp, you can do this in two ways. And I want to talk about this because it's important and you don't have to do this like anyone else. It's exactly what works for you. And it's okay to kind of do both. You can body recomp, and I'm just going to sum it up and say body recomp for that's just what I'm going to have to say. But what I mean by that quickly is changing your body composition, changing the way that you look. You may have seen a picture of someone weighing a certain amount of weight, 160 pounds, let's say. A woman weighing 160 pounds or a man, looking one kind of way, overweight, more fat on their body, less muscle. And then it's like a couple years later, the exact same weight, but completely different body, right? 160 pounds can look completely different if you have more fat, mostly fat, or if you have more muscle, mostly muscle. It can look different depending on your body type. It can look different in so many reasons, but that's essentially what you're doing. You can weigh the same or change the number on the scale, of course, but within even the same weight, you can change so much by basically swapping fat for muscle, meaning you have to build the muscle and you have to get rid of the fat, but it will weigh the same. But since muscle and fat weigh the same, right? A pound of muscle and a pound of fat, they both weigh a pound. They equal a pound. But physically, fat is bigger. Muscle is smaller. It's more dense. But they both equal a pound. That's why someone with more muscle is smaller, fit, tight. They weigh 160 pounds. Someone with more fat, it is what it is, right? It looks like fat. It's bigger. They look bigger, but they weigh the same. That's because of the makeup. It's because of the body composition. But you can recomposition your body. And I love that because it's kind of like body recomp. It's like a mental recomposition. It's like a habit recomposition. Think about changing your body, but also changing your mindset, changing your habits, changing the way you eat, changing your life, changing yourself instead of just shrinking or cutting things out or doing it quickly. It's going to take longer, but it's going to last forever and you're going to look so freaking good and you're going to feel so freaking good, okay? So in body recomp, honestly, the options are endless. I get a lot of questions about like, what realistically can I do with my body? Like, what is body recomp? Break it down for me. What's possible? Literally anything. Anything is possible. You can lose endless amounts of body fat within a healthy range, hopefully. You can gain endless amounts of muscle. You can do both at the same time. You can gain muscle for a couple months and then you can maintain that muscle and lose fat for a couple months. The options are endless and it's totally up to you, which I love. So for me, I'm at a healthy weight right now and I'm at all of my numbers on the scale, all of my numbers, except for my blood pressure. No, all of my numbers on the scale are healthy right now. My body fat, I would like to go down a little bit. For me personally, I'm just, I'm kind of teetering on a little bit more body fat than I should have per the scale and per myself. Honestly, when I look in the mirror, I know I'm a little fluffier and that's okay because I was in a muscle building, stage, which means I had to eat more, which means I had to gain a little fat, or I chose to gain a little fat because it puts on muscle faster. But the options are endless and it's totally up to you, which puts you in the driver's seat of your body, which is the best way to be. Like, what other seat would you want to be in other than the driver's seat in your own body? That's what we should be. We should be in the driver's seat. We shouldn't have Weight Watchers being in the driver's seat. We shouldn't even have me being in the driver's seat if I'm your coach. My goal as your coach for my one-on-one clients, my goal is for me to teach them so much that they're like, cool, Christy's kind of in the back seat now. I have her in my back pocket. She's there for me if I need her, but she's not driving the car anymore. She's taught me so much that I'm now in the driver's seat and I just have her there for accompaniment, right? Just to make sure, like, I think I take a left here, Christy over in the passenger seat or in the back seat. Like, is that right? I think I take a left. Then yes, that's right. You take the left here. So that's kind of what that is like. That's the point. And that's what I want for people is to have that ability to just be in the driver's seat. That's what body recomp is. But physically what it is, it's a complete makeover of your body, and you are in the driver's seat, depending on what season of life you're in, what season of the year you're in. If you're in a super busy season and you don't have as much time to go to the gym, then you're not in a muscle building season. You're in more of a fat loss season, or maybe you're in a maintenance season. This is totally up to you. So you can eat at maintenance calories and gain muscle and lose fat somewhat at the same time. I do have a lot of ladies that are, we have the smart scale. And my ladies, I'm talking about like my one-on-one clients right now who I talk to every other week, and I've got their smart scale information. And if the scale is staying the same, the main number on the scale, I should say, if your body weight is staying the same, and they're like week after week after week, they're maintaining their body weight, but their muscle mass is going up percentage or pound wise, and their body fat is going down percentage or pound wise, we can see that on the smart scale. Then I'm like, see, your overall body weight is the same, but your body composition is changing. And they know that. I can see it when they get on the screen for a one-on-one call. I'm like, your face looks different. I can tell week after week after week, like, you're looking different. Your face is looking different. And they're like, yeah, my husband's noticing I look different, right? My significant other's noticing I look different. My kids are noticing I look different. My parents are noticing I look different. My jeans are fitting better. I feel better. I feel smaller. It's like less of me to take for a run, right? Like they're feeling different, but the number is the same. That's body recomposition. If your body is changing, then you're good. So that's one way to kind of eat in maintenance and change those numbers that way. Another way you can body recomp, and this is probably a faster way, is to go into depending on where you're at, you would either need to start with a cut phase or start with a surplus phase. Let's say for me right now, like in the fall, my phase was to start in the fall with a muscle building phase. So I'm eating in a little bit of a surplus, meaning that I'm bringing in more calories than my body needs to survive. So I'm putting those calories toward my workouts, toward muscle gain, and also a little bit of fat gain. But I'm putting on muscle, trying to do that quickly, even though I was sick. So it didn't go quite as I had planned. I didn't put on as much muscle. I'm still trying to do that, honestly. But you go into a muscle building phase for 8 to 12 weeks. You build. You're in a surplus. You have put on muscle, and your fat probably stayed the same or went up as well. So the overall number on the scale is going up. Muscle mass is going up. Fat may or may not be going up. We can control that variable. But then after that, you can go into a maintenance phase. You can stay there for a while if you're comfortable, or you can go into a deficit, meaning you're bringing in you're consuming less calories than your body needs to survive. So that will aid in fat loss. You'll keep the muscle mass, you'll lose fat, and the number on the scale will go down. The fat percentage number will go down, and your overall body weight will go down. You can do that for 8 to 12 weeks, and then you can maintain, and then you go back into a muscle building phase. So you're building muscle on purpose, and then you're losing fat on purpose. And then you're building more muscle on purpose, and then you're losing fat on purpose. This is more of a cycled body recomp, whereas most people choose because it's easier and you just literally don't have to think about it. Once you get your macros set up, your workouts in place, you're walking, all your habits. My one-on-one clients are usually like, yeah, this is taking a little bit longer, but I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying my meals. This is healthy for my kids to see. I'm really, really happy here. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'm totally fine with that because it's simple. And after like 40 years of this diet shit, people are kind of sick of it. I have a lot of clients in their 40s that are like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm happy here. I like seeing the number change. Again, I'm able to live my life and I'm good not stressing about it. I don't want to worry about the numbers, and they'll stay in that equal body recomp. A lot of my clients too are like, no, I'm ready to actually, a lot of my clients will do that for about 2 years. And then they're like, okay, I'm at a place where I'm feeling a little like I need a little kick in the ass. They're ready to then go into a cut or a build phase. So that's kind of the breakdown, just kind of a conversation of the breakdown of body recomp and why I love it. It allows you to eat more. It allows you to be in control. I have some clients who, and this happened to myself earlier, even like beginning of March, I'm thinking like, okay, it's time to start thinking about a cut, time to start thinking about losing some fat, thinking about bikini season, thinking about the beach, thinking about summer, and started to go into a little cut season, realized that that was going to mean less Cadbury eggs for me. And I wasn't ready to do that yet. And so I decided, no, I'm not going to cut yet. And I had a lot of clients who did that and they thought, yeah, I'm actually don't like to be hungry. I actually don't want to do this. And so they stopped. So that puts you in control instead of always restricting, instead of always starting a program, instead of always working with a coach that's just kicking your ass all the time. You get to be in the driver's seat and say, yeah, I tried this. I actually don't like it. I actually like to be at maintenance. I'm liking body recomp right now. I'm liking eating a little bit more. I'm liking going out to eat and, not having to worry about such things. I'm liking having dessert after dinner and not having to worry about it. I'm liking having enough energy to push really hard in my workouts. A lot of my clients find that they love weightlifting and they love building muscle and they love feeling stronger. You can't really do that in a cut phase because you're hungry and you're not going to be able to push through a workout. You're not going to be able to max out on reps, right? You're going to have to lift a little bit later, and that's okay. But a lot of my clients, and myself included, I thought I loved cardio and I had to run and I wanted to be smaller. And once I started lifting and realized, oh, I can eat my little mini Cadbury eggs because they're only out seasonally. Let's be real. I want to eat them. I can eat my Post Malone Oreos. I can, eat these things and not feel bad on occasion, within reason, of course. And I can push really hard in the gym and I can build muscle and change my body. I love that. I actually love that. I went into a cut just 2 weeks ago. I started cutting, my version of cutting. It's not real aggressive, but it's my version of cutting. And I'm already yeah, I like how I look in the mirror. I don't hate my body. I don't have to grind. I don't have to do a huge cut anymore. I don't have to do these all or nothings. I don't have to go balls to the wall. I can ease my way through this. It's my choice. I like how I feel. I like how I look. I'm proud of myself. I don't have to report to anyone. It's so nice just to be able to build that confidence. And I think that is so important and it goes such a long way in your journey. So to kind of recap, body recomp is amazing because it is changing the composition of your body. And through doing that, you will learn so much about yourself, about your body, about the journey, about confidence, about what you want, about who you are, about what you're willing to do and what you're willing to put in. And the options are endless. And that makes you so proud because you're like, I built this body. No one did this for me. I'm getting healthy for myself. I'm getting fit for myself. I look good. I feel good. I did this. I said no to certain things. I said yes to going to the gym when I didn't want to. I did this. I look like this. I built this. I changed my body. I changed my life. That's a whole different ball game than I cut out my favorite foods. I no longer eat, carbs anymore. And I feel like shit. I'm hungry. I'm smaller, skinnier. Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to do this long term. I'm feeling stuck. That diet mentality that we've all been in. It's hard. That's a completely different way of living and thinking. So I love body recomp for this reason. And the options are endless. You can get to a point where you're thrilled with your body and you're thrilled with your progress and you just want to coast. You can get to a point where you're ready to put in more work and spend more energy and more time on the journey. And that's your choice. But when I say literally the options and the possibilities are endless when it comes to changing your body, they are. And that is the best part about body recomp, along with the food freedom and along with all of the other non-scale victories. It's just the best thing. But remember, to body recomp, you do have to be lifting heavy. You do have to be lifting heavy. To change your body, you do have to push your body outside of its limits. So when you are building muscle, you have to lift heavy. And I don't mean one rep and load the bar, but I mean for you yourself, you want to be getting to 6 reps and feeling damn, that was hard. Okay. You want to feel that because you want to build the muscle. If you're just going to the gym and I'm lifting some weights, that's not going to cut it. think strong, to look strong, to even look semi-strong. I think I look semi-strong, and I'm suffering in the gym. Okay. It's not always fun. Not always. I have days where I don't feel good and I don't feel strong and I can't lift heavy depending on whatever stuff's going on with my body or my mind or, my calorie intake or whatever. There's so many factors, but in general, you need to be lifting heavy. You need to be hitting your workouts with the purpose and the mindset of building muscle. And then vice versa, you have to be in the mindset of eating to fuel your body, to build those muscles, because your body is going to need food. So it does require a mindset shift, which I could also create a podcast about, the things you're going to have to rewire. I think that actually might be a great episode now that I'm saying it out loud. To rewire your thinking and your habits and your mindset for body recomp rather than just shrinking, because it is a completely different mentality. And, you will have to be ready for that. But it's nice to have someone to walk along with you in that journey, because there are struggles that do come along with that. I think that might be a great topic for another episode. So let me know in the comments. And if you're in Spotify, you can leave me a comment, which I'm loving reading, by the way. So let me know if you think that would be a great episode, or message me on Instagram, Christy Castillo Fit, or Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. But you can tell I love body recomp. So I think this is really, really fun to talk about, and just a real conversation about it, which I don't think happens very often. I think it's a very vague topic, and there's a lot that goes into it. And I think I think we should really, really talk about it more and shift our mindset and lifestyle to really encompass this body recomp way of living. I love it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go find me on my social medias at Christy Castillo Fit and at Unfuck Your Fitness podcast, and leave me a comment. And please leave a rating and a review and all of the things. I love hearing from you, truly, and really, really happy to hear from you. And when you tell me the podcast is making a huge difference in your life, that means the world to me. And I hope that these topics continue to do so. So I will talk to you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.